Just a short trip away, we find ourselves in Hollywood, California, visiting with Uncle Forrie in his haunted mansion.
Sleepy, drowsy, you'll respond to my voice and no other voice.
Founder and publisher of famous monsters of filmland, Forrest J Ackerman lives high in the Hollywood Hills. His mansion is crammed full of haunting memorabilia from Hollywood's past.
Follow me, if you dare. Why do people collect? Well, I can tell you why I started it. You see, in 1926, little 9-year-old me was standing in front of a newsstand, and the world's first science fiction magazine, Amazing Stories, jumped off the newsstand, grabbed hold of me, and you're probably too young to know, but in those days magazines spoke, and that one said, "Take me home, little boy, you will love me." It was just once a month you got a science fiction magazine, and it was like a man in the Sahara Desert, you know, dying of thirst. You treasured every little drop of water that you got. In those days, you couldn't go to a Blockbuster and pick yourself up a video cassette. Once you'd seen a film, it seemed to be gone forever, but I realized, well, at least with stills I can refresh my memory, so I started getting stills and posters and press books. Well, beginning about 1951, I realized I had all of the, now it's grown to 300,000 things, and I thought, well, what am I going to be, that evil old hermit on the hill, that rotten Forrest Ackerman? He's got all that great stuff and he won't let anybody look at it. Saturdays when I have an open house, after I've shown everybody around, then I have them sit down in a semicircle, and I tell them memories of Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi and Vincent Price and Peter Lorre. I've had 50,000 fans visit me since 1951. Sometimes I would think everybody on earth must have seen me twice by now, but they keep coming out of the woodwork. Recently there was a darling little 5-year-old girl. She came here for about the 5th time with her father. I said, "Honey, what do you like best around here?" She said, "You." My dear wife, whom I lost 10 years ago, when I would come to her and say, "Oh gosh, somebody got away now with one of Ray Harryhausen's models, or somebody stole a painting," she said, "Forrie, you know, why do you let all these strangers in the house? You can't tell the good guys from the bad, you know." And I said, "Well, you know, what's the alternatives? I say I just sit surrounded by all this and everybody hates me because I won't let anybody look at it. Or if the price I have to pay is occasionally that somebody swipes something, well, I'd rather..." With 300,000 things, it's like trying to empty the ocean with a sieve. They can't steal it all.
The whole world is under attack. Can it survive?
These are from the Ray Harryhausen film, Earth versus the Flying Saucers.
Never before has the screen reached such heights of excitement, breathtaking spectacle, hair-raising terror.
And this is from that came from beneath the sea. This is a comic book character I created called Vampirella. Here, Talisa Soto wore this costume when she portrayed Vampirella in the film a couple of years ago on television. Here's the emir that came 20 million miles to Earth in the animated Ray Harryhausen film. dedicated to Lon Chaney, the man of 1,000 faces.
Yes, Lon Chaney was all of these. The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Miracle Man, the Phantom of the Opera.
He played a Chinese mandarin. In one film he had no legs, and another no arms. He even played a female role, but of course he was famous for the Phantom of the Opera and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. There's the beaver hat and the ghoulish teeth that he wore in the lost film London After Midnight. Joe Dante and John Landis and directors of that stature, they all grew up reading the magazine I edited 190 issues of, Famous Monsters of Filmland. I used to bring Halloween to the kids of the country every month, and they turned out to be Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and John Landis, and Stephen King sent me his first story when he was 13 years old. I'm intent on filling every square inch in this 18-room home with something having to do with science fiction, fantasy, or horror, even the kitchen. Well, we can go upstairs now, move into the Karloff and Lugosi Memorial Room. This is my coffin table. Here's room for one more. I saw Bela Lugosi wearing that Dracula cape on the stage in 1932 doing Dracula. And it appeared for the last time in the infamous Plan 9 from Outer Space. And we're just surrounded here by memories of Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. The two of them appeared together in 6 different films. In the guest book there, Bela Lugosi wrote one word: amazed. Now this is the room of my favorite film that I've seen 91 times, Metropolis. These are the 7 deadly sins that come to life in the film. And this poster of Metropolis is from Hungary. In 1939, when I went to the first World Science Fiction Convention, that was one of the 2 films that they showed. Totally surrounded by Metropolis. There's twice as much as meets the eye all around this house here. Part of the 50,000 books. Oh, I can read this man's mind. He's about to say, "Shirley, mister," don't call me Shirley. You haven't read all these books. I've read every last word in my collection. I get a new book, I turn to the last page and read the last word.
Wild, weird, wonderful, the stuff for which movies were made.
These are the models made by Marcel Delgado and animated by Willis O'Brien. Here's the Brontosaurus that chased the man up the tree, and right behind this gentleman is the Pteranodon that was trying to fly away with Fay Wray in 1933 in King Kong. Silver robots from the 1935 Gene Autry science fiction serial called The Phantom Empire. And of course, you'll recognize this little puppet, this little Yoda. Automobile manufacturer from Japan sent it to me. It's a toy Yoda. To find a piece of the Holy Grail, so to speak, like if I found the bolts from Karloff's neck, or somebody made me a present of the first edition of Frankenstein, it kind of wells up within you, that sense of wonder I seem to have been born with. If this all leaves me in this house elsewhere, will I miss it? You better believe it, you know. But to wake up every day and be surrounded by what you've collected ever since 1926, I think with the millions of dollars that I will hopefully get for selling it all, what will I do? I'll become the most hated individual at science fiction auctions. Oh, there's no Ackerman is here, you know, no, there's no use bidding against. I would just go on collecting and add it to the collection wherever it is housed. It's just my lifeblood to collect.